Hello, and welcome to this special live presentation of the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Chase race number 20 of the season at Chicagoland Speedway. Well, of course, this is an extremely dark day for our sport of NASCAR, for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, and all of us involved with this sport that have been watching for any amount of time. Today, unfortunately, we lost two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, most winningest driver in history across the three series of NASCAR, Kyle Busch. And this race today will be dedicated in his memory and also dedicated to his family, Samantha Busch, his two kids, Brexton and Lennox, and man, this is an awful dark day. It truly is. This is one of the darkest days in our sport. This is probably our darkest day since we unfortunately lost Dale Earnhardt all the way back in 2001. Of course, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to explain what happened. You all know what happened. I don't feel like talking about it right now. We will have a moment of silence tonight at both lap 18 and lap 8 and 18. We will have a broadcast moment of silence, where of course we will go completely silent for the race. And man, we had to do this same. We had to do this same thing. Unfortunately, the day that Greg Biffle passed away, and we got to do it again tonight for Kyle Busch. But of course, this race will be in memory of him. This race will also be shortened, by the way. This is kind of an important announcement, to 100 laps instead of the usual 134 for mile-and-a-half races. Halfway break will be now at the end of lap 50, so there will, of course, will be changes in that department tonight. Only 100 laps here for Chicagoland Speedway, race number 2 of the Cup Series Chase, and of course it's been well documented that, I mean, it was a little bit of a joke. Obviously, we're not going to be on the joke anymore, but Cameron Chandler, of course, is going to be missing the race tonight. Yeah, we're not obviously going to be joking about anything tonight. This race, of course, is in memory of one of the greatest NASCAR drivers of all time, Kyle Busch. Anyways, we're going to see cars on the racetrack here for this warm-up session coming right up for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Chicagoland Speedway. The chase continues. We, of course, were at Iowa last week. But obviously with Cameron Chandler not being able to attend tonight, that is certainly going to change up a lot of things. And it should certainly be interesting how tonight goes. Anyways, here we go. Cars on the racetrack in Chicagoland. We welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series from Chicagoland Speedway. And first car on the racetrack, you can see it is a trippy paint scheme for Landon Johnson in the 88. Kyle Busch, of course, drove for Hendrick Motorsports back in the late 2000s, and then he moved to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2008. Unfortunately, now we got to reload the section because iRacing is lagging really badly. Not the time for that. Anyways, there unfortunately may be a pretty short field for tonight, even though they've been short lately due to this news. We do have a lot of Kyle Busch fans in the league, and we, of course, send well wishes to them. I know this is this hurts a lot for me personally, and some of us that aren't even like true diehard Kyle Busch fans. I mean, I definitely liked him. Obviously, he was one of my favorite drivers when he was at Gibbs. But man, this is just heartbreaking. It just really is. Absolutely heartbreaking. Such a dark day. But we are going to race tonight in memory of Kyle Busch. I think he really would want us to be on the racetrack tonight racing for him. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Chicagoland Speedway. This is a former home of the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Championship. Back in Season 1, that was actually won by Matthew White. Here goes the 88 of Johnson with Pacer Lindsay in the 99 behind him. Here's the 7 of Matthew White. So, of course, we don't even have the chase numbers on that. Sorry. I mean, we've been just obviously really flushes with what's been going on today so far. We can actually maybe try to get those in real quick. I'm not really sure. See what we can do. Actually, I don't know if we actually officially can. We're gonna give us a quick second. Nope, I don't think we can. So apologize for that. You're still going to have the C next to the chase drivers' names for this race, like we always do for the chase. Of course, you see here's a bit of a Kyle Busch tribute car for the 29 of Richard Cherry. Down the front straightaway. Anyways, here goes Cherry down to 3 and 4 yet again. Of course, this is also the home of the slide job. In real life, of course, in NASCAR, Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. You remember back here at Chicagoland Speedway back in 2018. What a race that was. What an incredible finish that we saw. All right, anyways, let's look at your Cup Series chase standings entering today here at Chicagoland. Of course, Cameron Chandler, obviously he's actually in Charlotte right now. It's got to be a tough scene down there, unfortunately. He currently sits at the top of the world, but he probably would lose that championship lead. The chase lead, I should say, after tonight. Bryce Benson sits second in points. He could have a good opportunity to close. Matthew White third in the chase standings right now. You see Sean Rowe, he is back fourth. We actually won the Grand National race last night back at USA Speedway. When we were there, they took the flight over here to Chicagoland, and we're ready to go. Braden Hunsicker sits fifth in points. Aiden Donahue is sixth. I'm not really sure, unfortunately, if Ashton Miller's going to be here tonight. Payson Lindsay is sitting 8th in points. Currently, he's top of the order right now. John Butler will not race tonight. I don't think Axel Smith will either, unfortunately. But all those guys should be back for Talladega. We're going to miss, I think, 3 or 4 chase guys, unfortunately. So, again, don't expect a massive field for tonight. We're only at 10 cars right now, so yeah. And obviously the grading is very large, but this race is in memory for Kyle Busch. You see Kyle Busch Forever 18 decal on the hood. It really does actually hurt to see that decal. Oh my god! Oh my goodness! I just can't believe that's actually real right now. But wow, there goes Aiden Donahue down the back straightaway in the 84 or 82. Of course, only 100 laps tonight compared to the usual 134, shortening this race. And yeah, we're just going to have to try to get through this one together. Such a sad day, but... Anyways, Landon Johnson, I know very short field right now. Hopefully we at least get some more cars than 10. That would be the smallest field since season 1 if we got that. So anyways, Landon Johnson, you've been on the racetrack here for a little bit. You're only 2 tenths down on Payson Lindsay. What's been the feel so far?
The longer I run, it's building a little bit tight, especially if you're running the top. If this is a track that's going to wear out tires, especially the higher you run up on the track. But the top's going to be the fastest line around here, especially with these 900 horsepower cars. But it's definitely going to burn up tires a lot faster, especially during the day with hotter temperatures.
Yeah, I mean, it should be interesting. This race, I don't know if we're going to go darkness tonight. It probably is not going to be actually long enough as Matthew White spins down the front straightaway. There's the 99 of Payson Lindsay. There's the 5. Of course, this is C.J. Erdman. C.J. Erdman is a big Kyle Busch fan, and we send well wishes to him, of course. I mean, unfortunately, go through this. I couldn't even imagine. I mean, I'm feeling a lot of pain, and I'm not even, you know, Kyle Busch wasn't, I guess you could say, my favorite driver. I mean, he was he was a driver I really liked, but he wasn't Martin Truex Jr. After a break, will be at the end of lap 50. Here is another 5 car. This is, well, actually, this is C.J. Urban. Who is this? That's Carlos Ortiz, I'm sorry. We have 2 5 cars for some reason. All right. Here's the 84. This is actually Bryce Benson. Apparently couldn't get the 9 on his car. Another Kyle Busch throwback, though. Goes back in a 1 and 2. Ooh, he's in the wall a little bit there. So again, only 10 cars so far. We still have 18 minutes left to go this warm-up session, but I don't think any of us really care about that at this point. We just want to do this race for Kyle. Aiden Donahue, I mean, he had a great race last week in Iowa, unfortunately, until he sped on pit road and got involved in a wreck. Took him out of contention for the win. Look at the top 7 cars, separated by less than 1/10 of a second. It's going to be a really close field tonight with the small car count. And the smallest car count so far, well, I don't know if we're going to end at 10. But so far, it is the smallest car count we've seen since season 1. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't exactly willing to race tonight. We obviously understand that after the tragic news tonight. We're not going to encourage people to race, not going to force them to, obviously. We just want to remember Kyle Busch tonight. Got Talladega next week, so that should be a different story. A big week in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. Talladega Super Speedway. We got the Truck Series race on Tuesday, the Grand National Series on Wednesday, the Cup Series on Thursday for the Chase. We raced number 3 in the Chase, but still got 100 laps tonight to come in Chicagoland. Aiden Donahue now goes top of the board here. Even though it is a small grid, yeah, guys like Aiden Donahue, he looks very quick. Payson Lindsay and Sean Rowe. I mean, I don't think that this is gonna really carry over tonight because at this point everyone just wants to kind of band together and you know, for one specific reason. But Payson Lindsay and Sean Rowe had a bit of an issue last night in the Grand National race. Top 5 Chase drivers. Rich Cherry, of course, got the victory lane last week in the Cup race at Iowa, beating all of the Chase regulars. What a great race that was last week. Bryce Benson only 8th on the board so far. Here goes the 20 of Sean Rowe heading down the front stretch. So Landon, how do you think, or of course, going to normal race distance for mile-and-a-half races for the Grand National Series. How do you think that'll affect tonight, losing 34 laps?
Okay, I have no idea what you just said because I had a big old blink. I think you said we're going to lose 34 laps and how that's going to play out.
Yep.
I mean, I think with this small of a grid, it's not going to change a whole lot. You're going to have, you got your chase guys about the top. Basically, it's going to be top 6 in points after tonight, probably. I mean, like, they're going to be more aggressive towards the end of the race, but like the first half, they're just going to see how their car is on the long run and try to dial it in for the second half of the race. So I think it'll be probably all green all the way. I'd be surprised if we have cautions the first half of the race.
I mean, every driver in the field, we got, top 7 on the board so far. So the top 7 are Cup Series winners. The only 2 non-Cup winners are 8th C.J. Urban and 10th Carlos Ortiz. The only driver that has never won in either the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup or Grand National Series is Carlos Ortiz in the grid so far. So, I mean, there's a lot of talent here, and Ortiz has been very close. 13 minutes left here before qualifying will be getting underway here from Chicagoland Speedway. Landon, I don't know if are you busy on track right now?
Not really.
All right. Well, I think right now I do want to go through real quick, me and you, our favorite Kyle Busch memories. If you want to.
Yeah, we can. You can go first.
Well, of course, I remember I was, like 10 years old, and I remember watching the 2019 championship race at Homestead for the Cup Series. I was obviously everybody knows I'm a Truex fan. I wasn't very happy that Truex finished second to Kyle Busch, but still happy that he could get it done for Joe Gibbs Racing, and of course, how it ended up being his final NASCAR Cup Series championship. I mean, that was a fun battle there at the end, seeing Kyle Busch win his second Cup Series title, and that was really cool in 2019. I know not as insane as this 2015 championship run, but man, Kyle Busch was great that season. Probably more consistent than Truex, I think, with the regular season championship that year, and beat him straight up in Miami. Even though I think Truex's team, I know making this about Truex, I'm sorry, but I think Truex's team actually messed up the tires, because of course they did. Anyways, Landon, it's your turn.
It's something you mentioned earlier. It's 2018 at Chicagoland, the battle Larson and Busch had here. Where Larson went for a slide job in the last lap, and fans were not very happy that the Busch wrecked Larson, but didn't grow up as a Busch fan, but like that, the Bristol sweep in 2017, and then like you said, the 2015 championship, that's some of my favorite Busch moments.
Yeah, of course. By the way, we're going to fix something with the camera angles here at Chicagoland Speedway. We'll be right back. Again, don't mind the small grid tonight. This is in memory of Kyle Busch, and we understand the people that don't want to race today. And unfortunately, we already had a couple of people that can't race anyways. So obviously this lowers it a little bit. But yeah, Landon, looking for his second Cup Series win of the season. How about that?
Yeah, I think we're pretty decent at this kind of tracks, at intermediates. It's just gonna take some luck tonight to win, with a lot of Cup championship guys in the field.
Yeah, of course. Here's the 77 of Hunsicker. Here goes the 5 down the front straightaway now. There's the 7 of Matthew White. heading down this backstretch for him. And back into turns 3 and 4. I believe Cole Wilson has actually maybe entered the race in Cameron Chandler's car. He might be filling in tonight. Anyways, there's the 5 in the pits. There's the 20 of Sean Rowe and the 82 of Aiden Donahue coming back on the track. Bryce Benson now goes top of the board. I mean, look at this top seven cars. I really do think have an all equal shot for the win. And this is going to be really intense. 6 chase guys, 1 non-chase guy with Richard Cherry. Hopefully we can put on a great battle for the win tonight in memory of Kyle Busch. I just saw something that said on Twitter that said Kyle Busch was Dale Earnhardt to the generation that came after Dale Earnhardt. Being that generation, I truly agree with that. Not sure if you do, Landon.
Yeah, I would say he was our Dale Earnhardt of our generation.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Such a sad day, but we raced the night for the great Kyle Busch. Braden Hunsicker, race 20 of the season, still looking for that first win. Is it the night? Who knows? I mean, these times are so close. By the way, you wouldn't have been able to go all the way on fuel if this race was the full distance, but, on the stage. But you can get to lap 50 on fuel, I think, pretty decently, and you should be good.
No, we cannot make it to stage.
What? How?
It's like 47 and a half.
All right, well, I'm assuming they're going to save enough to be able to make it then. Yeah, they should at least, especially if we get a yellow here, maybe get top off for a second. They should be able to make it to the end with saving and whatnot. I don't expect to see, like green flag pit stops, I don't think. Unless you have to. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left here. For qualifying, will be underway. Of course, 11-car grid isn't particularly what we hoped for, but obviously, we're not going to focus on that right now. Here's the 20 of Shawnara. Be heading down the front straightaway. Of course, the remaining tracks we go to this season, most of them Kyle Busch has won at. I mean, he's won at basically every NASCAR track, I feel like. Chicagoland, Hero Fest won in 2018. He won Talladega in 2023. North Wilkesboro, he never actually. Oh, man, Kyle Busch never got the opportunity to do a points race in Wilkesboro. That's hard. Hard to hear right there. But anyways, Talladega, or I already said that. Kansas, obviously, he's won there multiple times. He won at New Hampshire as well. He's won at Las Vegas for a finale, so that's his home race. Oh, that's a great tribute right there. Home race, it's our finale at Las Vegas. That's a good way to do that. I think I'm gonna count schemes, or maybe 4 paint schemes that are tributing, 4 that are full tributes to Kyle Busch. Then you have, I think, 2 or 3 that have decals. Like Sean Rowe, you also got Cherry had a decal, I believe, as well. Here's the 8 of Cameron Chandler. And it's just been such a tough last 8 or 9 months. The amount of people we have lost over these last little bit has been just tragic. Unfortunately, they include so we had Michael Annette, first of all. We also lost Dennis Hamlin, Denny Hamlin's father. We also lost, of course, Greg Biffle. That was a horrible tragedy. And now today we have so painful. We lose Kyle Busch. We also had a race on the day we lost Charlie Kirk as well. I mean, this is just been so tragic lately. I thought we were finally away from that hell into happier times, but unfortunately, doesn't seem like that's the case. All right, 3 minutes to go before qualifying will be underway here at Chicagoland Speedway for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. So this is going to be the smallest, unless we get more cars here, this will be the smallest grid we get all season. I mean, it does make sense for tonight at least. Anyways, there's Braden Hunsaker pulling his car down the pit road. Here's Jacob Clarino for Chandler Wilson Racing. He goes the tap of time in. All right. About 2 minutes left here. All right, there goes CJ Urban back in a 1 and 2 in the 5 car, as you can see. By the way, of course, the 84 is, like I said, Bryce Benson. The 5 is C.J. Urban. Well, there's another 5 car. Should be the 21. That's Carlos Ortiz. Here's the 77 of Braden Hunsaker. Almost contact down the front straightaway. Aiden Donahue. We got a bit of a race going on here. The 99 of Payson Lindsay. There as well. 3 wide. Back in a 1 and 2. A little bit of a slide job there, Aiden Donahue on that 77 of Hunsaker, heading down the back straightaway. And, yep, slide job. Man, Kyle Busch made it famous. Hope we see some of those tonight here at Chicagoland. Kyle Larson made it famous, I'm sorry. But, of course, on Kyle Busch. Donahue looking for the inside of Johnson. Donahue is still very quick, but Bryce Benson is going to be tough to beat for the pole. This is going to be an extremely close qualifying session from the looks of it. Like it always is here in the Cup Series. I mean, I know this field isn't very large tonight, but man, is it competitive. There's 7 or 8 guys I could see winning this race easily. And Cameron Chandler isn't even here tonight. Neither is Ashton Miller. Oh, Donahue gets wrecked, and that will do it in practice. Checkered flag in the air. It is time to qualify in Chicagoland. All right, 2 laps of qualifying for pole position. Here we go. Who is going to get the pole? Cars roll off the grid. Here's Donahue in the 82, the 77, Hunsicker now pulling onto the track. There's the 5. There's the 29 of Richard Cherry. Here's the 33 of Jacob Clarino. Here we go. Of course, 2 laps of qualifying from Chicagoland. Who is going to win this pole? Here goes Hunsicker, heading down the front straightaway. Into 1 and 2. So I'm going to be interested to see if we see lap 1 be the best lap or maybe lap 2.
Yeah, lap 1 could be a, lap 1 could be a, just rip the board, get up to speed lap.
Not exactly sure. So we saw Hunsicker, he was ripping the board, so's the 5. Yeah, I think they, oh, Hunsicker in the wall there of corner exit, coming to his 2nd lap, I believe at least. That's not going to help him at all. Gonna run them outside through 1 and 2 here. Donahue so far top of the board. Lap, by the way, was invalid for Braden Hunsicker because he hit the wall. White goes 2nd, but he is about a 10th back. On lap 1 at least. Heading down the back straightaway. Here's the 5. There's Aiden Donahue running the bottom through 3 and 4. Oh, he's gonna be loose and is gonna nearly wreck the car. Obviously, this lap will be invalid and won't matter anyways. He will be slower. Ortiz goes 3rd. Hunsicker is going to end up in 3rd on his 2nd lap, but still everybody a 10th down on Aiden Donahue. Matthew White, I think he just went across the line. I'm not really sure. Yeah, Matthew White did not improve. He's going to stay 2nd, about a 10th down on Donahue. Across the line. For, I believe, Ortiz. He will go in 4th. Clarino is going to slot in 5th on lap 1. He'll run the bottom 3 and 4 there. Got the 7 of Matthew White on the apron. Here goes Cherry, winner last week in Iowa. 1 car pulling on the racetrack. I believe that is Cole Wilson filling in for Cameron Chandler tonight. Here's the 84, Bryce Benson. Clarino goes 4th on his 2nd lap. Herman slots in 6th. Here goes Benson into 1 and 2. There's a bit of a lift there for the driver that was just barely top of the board in practice. So it seems like a lot of your drivers are setting their best laps on lap 1, at least for your leaders. Cherry slots in 3rd. Breaks up the Highline cars. Here goes Benson off turn 4, coming down the front straightaway to the white flag. Payson Lindsay is 2nd now. Drops into a 10th, within a 10th, I should say. Bryce Benson is 2/10 off on lap 1, definitely a throwaway. Here goes Lindsay down the backstretch. He'll make his way back into 3 and 4. Was good in practice. Really good last night. USA Speedway starting to hit his drive, but he's in the wall. Cherry now drops up to 2nd, and Payson wrecks down the front straightaway. Here goes Bryce Benson. Coming to the line. Will lap 2 be an improvement for the 84? Looking to update. It goes 2nd, but cannot be Aiden Donahue. Cherry backs it out. He is 3rd. Here goes Sean Rowe.
Only to P8 the first lap.
I think that probably was a throwaway, just like Bryce Benson. He'll run the boards through 1 and 2 on lap 2. Oh, but he's in the wall, and that's going to be, that's going to be it for Sean Rowe. He'll rack down the front back straightaway into the wall hard. He will be 8th. Wow. What a session. here in Chicagoland. And it looks like on pole is going to be Aiden Donahue, exactly what he needed to see. So this is very, very important for the 82 of Donahue, obviously. It's going to be an extra bonus point. He needed this. He was looking for his first Cup Series win of the season, as that will do it in qualifying. Aiden Donahue, I believe this may be his first pole of the year. I'm not exactly sure if I'm right about that. But he will be on pole in Chicagoland Speedway as we welcome you live to the season number 5 NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series race in Chicagoland. 100 laps shortened from 134 originally scheduled for today in remembrance of Kyle Busch. Of course, we will have moments of silence at laps 18 and 8. Of course, Kyle Busch's 2 numbers that he made the most famous at this point. Funny thing is, there actually is a lot of Kyle Busch's Hendrick throwbacks because that's what he drove in the Gen 4 era. You can't really do a JGR or even an RCR throwback in the Gen 4 unless you make it yourself. And unfortunately, with today's news, drivers didn't really have time to do that, or probably even wanted to do that, due to just the shocking certainty of the event that unfortunately took place tonight. Anyways, car's about to roll off the grid here in Chicagoland. Let's go through your starting lineup. Aiden Donahue going to be on pole, I believe, for the first time this season. He has been starting to hit his stride lately in this chase. All of a sudden, a new switch has been flipped. Aiden Donahue looks like he might be back. Bryce Benson will start alongside of him. Rich Cherry, winner last week in Iowa, will start in 3rd. Payson Lindsay will line up in 4th. Matthew White won a championship here in season number 1 at Chicagoland Speedway. He will start in 5th. Braden Hunsicker, he'll line up in 6th place. Jacob Clarino, give us a quick second. Jacob Clarino will line up in 7th here. Sean Rowe wrecked on lap 2 in his qualifying lap. Won the Grand National race last night at at USA Speedway. He will start 8th. Carlos Ortiz will start 9th, and CJ Erdman, longtime Kyle Busch fan, will round out your top 10. Not quite sure what we're doing right now. I think we're actually bringing the Kyle Busch cars to the front. Yeah, that's exactly, that's nice. So we may just do this instead of going down pit road. This is a very nice touch we got going on now. Wow, beautiful. Landon, you got to join him. Go 4 wide. Thank you.
There you go.
Look at this. Absolutely beautiful as we, this is for Kyle. One of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history. This is for Kyle Busch.
They want me to go down pit road 4 wide.
I would back out.
I'm gonna hit. Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, I don't know about.
I just hit the cone.
Well, Kyle Busch cars will bring their wet cars down to pit road in remembrance of the Candyman, Rowdy Kyle Busch. He's in heaven now. He's with God. He's with Jesus. And he's definitely looking down on us, hoping for a great race. All right. We'll go back up here at the front of the field. Got to catch up to the pace car. And we'll get ready to go here in Chicagoland. Obviously a short grid tonight due to the fact of today's tragic news. Thinking of everybody, of course, especially the Busch family. Samantha Busch, Kyle Busch's wife, his 2 kids, and of course his brother, Kurt Busch, and everybody else in the Busch family. Race number 20 of the Cup Series season, race number 2 of the chase. What's going to happen tonight, especially with your chase leader, Cameron Chandler, missing it? 100 laps in Chicagoland. Short race in Cup Series terms here. It's actually the same distance of a Grand National mile-and-a-half race. Pace car is in. This is for Kyle Busch. Let's go in Chicagoland. Green flag in the air. We're racing. Benson on the outside going to clear Aiden Donahue for the lead as they go 3 wide for third. Further back, you see Matthew Wynn on the inside lane, Cherry in the middle. Outside is Payson Lindsay. Braden Hunter trying to find his nose in there as well. Battle for the lead, though. Here comes Donahue coming back on Benson down the front straightaway. Side by side. Back into 1 and 2. Aiden Donahue in the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to look to go even, looking to retake the lead from Benson. They're being door to door, even with each other, trying to side draft down this backstretch. Payson Lindsay back there in third, looking away. See him in the 99, still door to door. Donahue drives it deep, but still got Benson there to his outside. He'll side draft him, pull him back. Still side by side coming to lap 3. Outside momentum trying to carry for Bryce Benson. Ooh, Donahue going to slide at the racetrack and lift out of the gas. That will allow Benson to be clear for the lead. Donahue goes to the bottom yet again in 3 and 4. But momentum, again, doesn't look like it's going to carry that well. Ooh, but Benson in the wall down the front straightaway. That's going to, of course, allow the 82 car of Donahue to have a run coming back into 1 and 2. Bryce, of course, has the middle of the outside lane. He's kind of protecting that. Still very early in this race, only lap 4. You see 1 car high, that's the 5 of CJ Irvin, already running in the top 6. Having a great run. See Hunsicker now to the inside of Cole Wilson. He didn't have a great start, back now in 9th. A lap 5 we go in Chicagoland. Aiden Donahue looking for a run down the front straightaway on Bryce Benson. I mean, Bryce just got a great restart in the outside lane. Maybe that's something to watch for a guy like Aiden, maybe even the rest of the field, that the outside is just very good restarts. Took the lead from Donahue immediately. Here goes Lindsay, battle for second. He goes to the outside in 3 and 4. Payson Lindsay in the 99 car. Down the front straightaway, side by side though. See Erdman door to door with Richard Cherry, and Richard Cherry has 6th. Riding with Donahue. He's just in the tire tracks, and here goes Lindsay to his inside for P2 on the bottom. He'll drive it really deep into the corner, gonna slide up the racetrack. Donahue's got momentum, good momentum coming down the front straightaway. He'll look to maybe go outside on Benson. Here he comes. He's back, he'll get there. Back into 1 and 2. Aiden Donahue looking to retake the lead in Chicagoland. Benson, though, slides up the racetrack, clears him yet again. But Aiden's all over his back bumper for the lead. Donahue goes back bottom in the 3 and 4 yet again. We might get a little bit tight. Yeah, he's going to get tight off corner exits. Slats back as we come to lap 8. And, of course, our first moment of silence of the race. Sound of screaming race cars ripping around Chicagoland Speedway. Exactly what Kyle Busch would want to hear. Outside there for a second, Payson Lindsay gonna have a run. Coming down the front straightaway on on Donahue. Of course, it is a shorter race, so these guys definitely have to keep that in mind. A normal cup race is 134 laps, so they can kind of ride around for a little bit. Can't really ride around too much. Halfway break at the end of lap 50. Donahue got tight off corner exit. Lindsay's going to have a run down the front straightaway yet again. Here goes Payson. Knows he's going to try to look inside. Stays in the line. Back into 1 and 2. Bryson's all over his back bumper. Donahue runs the wall through 3 and 4. I mean, we're going to see how this works now. I do want to... Oh, he's going to get sideways off corner exit through the middle of the corner. That is actually side by side with Lindsay. He'll easily give up the spot there. Really loose. Back into 3 and 4. Luckily, saves his race car, but he's back to 3rd. That will allow Bryce Benson to have a bit of a lead. Landed, by the way, on the fuel situation now, 11 laps into the race. What's that looking like?
About 37 laps.
All right, so they're just short. I do already hear some people saving. Oh, we got a crash. No, we don't. Maybe we do. Somehow they all save it. I saw smoke. I believe it was the 7 of Matthew White. He got sideways in the wall. A little bit goes Sean Rowe. Both of them save it. Battle for 4th. Here goes Rowe to the inside. You got Cherry in the bottom. Looking to make it a 3-way battle for P4. Cherry, the highest running non-chase driver. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack in the 3 and 4 yet again. Battling for 5th with chase driver Sean Rowe. And Rowe will re-clear Cherry. Benson, though, continues to lead. He'll probably, if he wins the race, he'll easily take the championship lead tonight. Cameron Chandler's got to hope he doesn't fall back too far tonight. He got a 15-point gap for the lead entering the day on Bryce Benson. A little further back, we got a battle here side by side. Braden Hunsaker has not had a very good start to the race. Here goes Carlos Ortiz, who is outside for 9th. And Braden hasn't just fired off well at all. Had a great day last week in Iowa until he kind of fell back through the fields. Now runs 10th. Of course, that long winless track continues for your defending series champion. Last went to victory lane at Dover last season. And here goes Donahue back to the inside of Lindsay for 2nd. On the bottom. Side by side, back into 1 and 2. Oh, Lindsay loose. That's a big wobble there. Got completely sideways. Still even with each other, back into 3 and 4. Donahue in the bottom of the racetrack. Gonna slide up in front of that 99 car. Come to lap 15 laps complete. Here goes Lindsay back to his outside, though. Not giving up just yet. This is allowing Benson to continue to pull away. Ooh, Lindsay, a big moment there. Has back out of the gas, and Donahue is clear for 2nd. Now about 8/10 down on your leader, Bryce Benson. And Landon, are any of the guys around you saving?
I was doing some adjustments to my car, and we kind of lost the battle, so I can't really hear them.
All right, I do hear somebody coasting. Yeah, I mean, not now, but there was somebody coasting earlier. I'm interested to see, maybe if it was Bryce Benson. Let's listen. Nope. Nobody's coasting right now. Most of the field. And as we come to lap 18, it'll be our 2nd moment of silence. Obviously, 18, such an iconic number in Kyle Busch's career. 2 Cup Series titles with that number at Joe Gibbs Racing, raced with JGR from 2008 to 2022. I mean, most successful driver in Joe Gibbs Racing history. And man, always be remembered. Hopefully, I really do actually hope 18 gets retired in the NASCAR Cup Series, or at least retired by Joe Gibbs Racing. Matthew White is having an absolute blink fest right now. Here goes Sean Rowe to his inside. bottom. Lindsey's also starting to pull back. Donahue beginning to run down their leader, Bryce Benson, for the lead. Lindsey, that's a tight moment. Here goes Matthew White. Run down their back straightaway. Battle for third. Matthew White has actually never won here at Chicagoland Speedway, but he, of course, won a title at this racetrack, like I mentioned earlier, back in Season 1. Oh, nearly contact down the front straightaway. Back into 1 and 2, you see White on the bottom of the racetrack. Outside has been not, I guess I would say, the dominant line. You can make passes on the bottom. Lindsey is sideways yet again. Sean Rowe now goes to follow in line with the 99 car. I would hope these two don't get together with anything tonight, like they did yesterday at USA Speedway. Matthew White slides back up the racetrack. Rowe's going to have a run back on the bottom of him. Lindsey holds on to third for now, but here comes Sean Rowe for P4. Takes advantage of Matthew White getting loose, and he's clear. White goes back to the bottom of the racetrack in 1 and 2. Hunsaker, by the way, has fallen to P11. Continues to fall back. Not exactly sure what's going on with him. Rowe's going to be back on the bumper of the 99, back in the 3 and 4. Drove to the inside. By the way, the lead is down to 2/10 between Benson and Donahue, nearly 3 wide for third. What a race at the front of the field. And for the lead, here goes Donahue to the inside of Benson for the lead. On the bottom. He caught him rapidly after retaking second place away, and he's trying to get there to the bottom of the racetrack. Again, this three-way battle for third continues. Donahue has to slot back in line behind Benson for now. Rowe on the outside in that 20 machine. Here goes Aiden Donahue. Can't get there to the inside of Bryce Benson just yet. Rowe side by side with Matthew White down the front straightaway. Again, Donahue to the inside of the 84 car of Benson. Hunsaker has, by the way, regained a spot, and he is now inside of the top 10 yet again. Hunsaker won here back in Season 3, so he has success at this racetrack. Sean Rowe almost cuts off Matthew White. Back through turns 3 and 4. Here goes Donahue. Side by side again. Slides up the corner, but he's door to door with Benson. Down the front straightaway, but once again, bottom lane does not prevail. And Benson holds the lead for now. Here goes Cherry through the middle. Contact that with Sean Rowe. Slides up the racetrack. Both those cars save it. Matthew White retakes third. Rowe back to fourth. Cherry slots in fifth. Cherry made contact with chase driver Matthew White in last week's Iowa race in his win. That turned Matthew White around. Doesn't want to do the same to Sean Rowe here tonight. Cherry goes to the bottom and easily past that 20 car. Bit of a slide job on him, but I think Sean Rowe is just at that point letting him go. Again, inside for the lead, Aiden Donahue. But Benson's had that outside lane working for him pretty nicely, and he's been able to hold on to the lead for now. Donahue wasn't very pleased with Bryce Benson last week in Iowa. He was the one that got him turned around. I don't expect to see any payback. Aiden Donahue is not really that kind of guy, but maybe you're going to race him a little bit harder than he usually would. Up the racetrack goes that 84 Benson back into 3 and 4. Gets a little bit loose. Aiden Donahue coming back to the inside. He's getting it sideways, but I mean, he's dropped to the inside of him maybe like 7 or 8 times now through 3 and 4, but still has not been able to complete the pass. Mason Lindsey, by the way, I don't know what happened to him. I gotta look real quick.
I think he's just cutting the stage in half so you don't have to save no fuel.
He's not on pit road. Oh no, never mind. He is off now on the racetrack. I thought he had some sort of issue.
CJ's coming down. CJ's coming down now.
All right. So you do now see pit stops. Maybe drivers think they can't save enough. Those we almost see contact. Up the racetrack goes Benson. Donahue just still following in line. So Pace and Lindsey, I believe, for fresh Goodyear tires, much fuel as he needs. So if everybody pits here, that will be a massive undercut for the driver of the 99. Here goes Urban in the 5. And Donahue looking back inside of Benson yet again for the lead. But again, like it's happened about 10 times or so, he's going to slide back in line. Matthew White isn't doing too bad, about 1.9 seconds back, running in third. Sean Rowe is falling all the way back now. He's kind of a mess here, almost 3 wide. He will be 3 wide, back into 1 and 2 with Hunsicker and Wilson. Carlos Ortiz up to 6. It's kind of just a mess back here. Rowe falling back in the long run, complete opposite for Braden Hunsicker, up to P7 on the long run now. Past Cole Wilson and Sean Rowe. And here goes the 5 of Ortiz coming to pit road. And also Landon Johnson is pitting, so maybe drivers now with 20 laps to go till the stage electing to come all down pit road. We'll see if everybody pits. Maybe somebody can save enough. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, if they all have to come down pit road. Oh, big loose moment there from Benton. He gets sideways. Donahue can't take advantage of it. He's going to go to the outside, though, through down the front straightaway. Come back into 1 and 2. He will get there outside of Benton for the race lead. That was a loose moment out of that 84 car. He got completely sideways. Aiden Donahue now side by side down the back straightaway. Outside momentum carrying from the 82 car, the driver that needs a win so badly. Here in the Cup Series, Benton drives it deep into the corner yet again. They're going to be side by side, even with each other down the front straightaway. Battle for the lead. Shockingly, Donahue can't rip the outside or clear him. He might be able to do that off turn 2, but he gets loose. Still door to door. This time, I believe Donahue going to drive it nicely into the corner and clear. Bryce Benson to retake the lead, your pole sitter. Back out front, Aiden Donahue. Coming to lap 34. So far, Lindsay, Ortiz, Urban, and Johnson have all visited pit road. I do hear some cars saving, though. And I do actually want to ride along with Bryce Benton to see if that includes him. Yep, Bryce is coasting. All right, so that does now kind of answer our question on the fuel situation. So Bryce Benton looking to try to make it to the end. Gave the lead up to Donahue, who I don't believe is saving, or at least coasting. I believe Cherry might be coasting as well in the 29. He's on the way past Matthew White for third. Here goes Hunsicker. He's got Pace and Lindsay on fresh tires coming to his outside. Yeah, this fuel situation definitely makes things very interesting. Caution-free so far in Chicagoland. 15 laps to go to the stage. So one driver that's definitely not saving is Aiden Donahue in the 82. Bryce Benton is definitely saving. So is Cheery in the 29. Matthew White might be as well. Yep, Matthew White is. So is Cheery and Benton. No, now actually Donahue is coasting in a 1 and 2. Interesting. Benton back there riding in second currently. Coasting as well, so I mean they can they were only like what, like 3 or 4 laps short, I think, Landon?
Yeah, it was like 3 laps.
So that's not much at Chicagoland Speedway. But see Matthew White with a run down the front straightaway on Cherry. Cherry is slow. I think he's actually going to let Matthew White go for whatever reason. Maybe trying to save it enough fuel. But I do hope we don't have cars running out under the fuel situation. I mean, we didn't really think this, I'm going to be honest, we didn't think this extremely through, shortening the race down to this. Probably should have honestly kept it at 90% fuel capacity, not gone to 100. Due to all the, obviously, chaos today. So Mason is obviously saving was on fresh tires. So if everybody had to pit here, Lindsay would easily take the lead. But we don't expect that to really happen now. Here goes Lindsay looking to unlap himself around the 84 Benton. See just what fresh tires are able to do. I'm not really sure if this is going to be the right strategy call for a driver like Pace and Lindsay. You're going to probably burn up another extra set here. And if you come at the stage, I think you have to. If nobody else pits. Lindsay gets himself back on the lead lap. So we are on lap 40 in Chicagoland. No caution so far. Here's Sean Rowe back in the 8th. I mean, he was running inside of the top 5 not too long ago, and then unfortunately just lost some speed in his race car. Here goes Rowe, actually back around the outside on that 8 car of Cole Wilson. Retakes the spot up to P7.
Donahue said he's going to come in, gave up on saving fuel.
That's interesting. All right. Only less down than 10 laps to go. And here comes Aiden Donahue down to pit road. That'll give him the lead to Bryce Benton. Interesting call. I'm going to wonder now. Benton definitely was saving earlier than Donahue was.
Track is definitely starting to cool down with the sun going down.
Here goes that 5 car around the outside. That is fresh tires, I believe, for, what is that? We'll check real quick. Carlos Ortiz. Sorry. We're coming back to 6 laps to go in the stage. Matthew White is actually starting to run down Bryce Benton for the lead. Got a couple of voice cracks there. Donahue, of course, comes down to pit road. I would have to imagine, I don't know why, honestly, if I was Aiden, I would pit a little bit later because I don't want to burn up my set too much. I'm going to be burning up an extra set. Of course, you still get 4. With 100 laps in the Grand National Series, you only get 3. But these guys got lucky tonight that the race was shortened. And they still had to be able to keep their set. Yeah, Benton is definitely slow. I think he's saving a lot now. Coming up 5 laps to go in the stage this time by. So it would be nice if the fuel situation works out so we don't really have to deal with all this stuff, the fuel saving nonsense in the last half. Battle for 3rd. How about Jacob Clarino? I don't think he's saving much. He has just been on the move. But for the lead, Bryce Benton trying to hold on. Coming to 4 to go in the stage this time by. Here he's actually starting to catch back up to Matthew White for the 2nd. White close up the gap to Benton a while, and then he kind of backed off. I think he still has to save that fuel. He's going to go, actually, Benton's slow to 3 and 4. Here goes Matthew White to the outside for the race lead. He's there, door to door, down the front straightaway to the outside. Cheery goes with him, and Matthew White clears Bryce Benton. Cheery, though, hasn't run down the front straightaway. With 3 to go in the stage. He'll go bottom to 1 and 2. Benton back to 4th. He is really slow at the bottom. Trying to save enough. Oh, White sideways. Here goes Cheery. Braden Hunsicker into the battle as well. Clarina goes outside in the 3 and 4. Side by side back into 3 and 4. Here goes Jacob Clarino, 3 wide around the outside. Oh my goodness. Hunsicker goes there as well. Clarino is nearly clear. He is clear for the lead. With 2 to go in the stage. Here goes Hunsicker. White back to 4th. Hunsicker now outside for the lead. Where did he come from? Unbelievable. With a lap and a half left to go until the stage. Side by side with Jacob Clarino. He will clear him. Oh, he's in the wall hard. Down the front straightaway. That's a bad shot he just took. 1 to go in the stage this time by Clarino. Nearly gets back clear, but Hunsicker back to the outside in the 1 and 2. He clears him for the race lead. My goodness. Trying to take the green-white checkered flag. Final time in the stage. Down the back stretch they go. Clarino is slow. Backs out of it. Just trying to save enough to the end. Hopefully they all make it around. Oh, but he's slow on the bottom. Here goes Cherry. Cherry's coming. To the green and white checkered flag we come. Cherry is going to do it to win the stage. How about that? Beats Hunsicker, and the caution has to come out. How about that? Richard Cherry in the final moment just pulled around at 77 Hunsicker. Very odd stage there at the end, having to save fuel like that. Wow. Hunsicker ends up 2nd. Matthew White will be 3rd. Rowe is going to end up.
Oh, they wrecked.
What?
Jacob
they
and
did.
Bryce is on the apron.
Oh, Bryce. Yeah, Bryce Benson is sideways around. What happened there? I have no idea. So, well, Clarino is sideways. Oh, so here's what happened. Oh, he just. What? What's that? I don't know what that was. That was really weird. And then here comes Bryce Benson. He's on the apron. Has to stop. Benson wasn't involved. That was strange. All right. Wow, what a way to finish up the stage here in Chicagoland. Unbelievable stuff. Somehow, Richard Cherry wins the stage. Not going to matter, because he's, of course, a part-time driver.
Matthew, he might be close to being out of gas. He's barely rolling around the apron.
Yeah, this is not a very good deal. Kind of wish this wasn't going on the stage here.
Wilson, I think he might be out of gas.
Yeah, some people might need. Here comes Bryce Benson. Oh, I'm shocked from this. These two do not like each other at all, Bryce Benson and Matthew White. So, I mean, almost like Erdman Donahue. Well, Erdman doesn't have to stay out, but I feel like as they come to pit here, Donahue is going to have to stay out. Oh, what on earth is Landon Johnson doing? Okay.
Well, I wasn't getting the free pass, so.
All right. Well, will Benson be trapped a lap down now? What happened to Bryce? Let's take a look. I think, did Bryce pit? I think Benson pitted. Wow, how about that? Here goes Cherry. He's going to roll to his pit stall. That was slow. This is going to be such an interesting restart. Who actually comes out first? Sean Rowe got a great jump. It'll be Hunsicker out first. Second will be Payson Lindsay, after he, of course, pitted there under that stage. Third is going to be Sean Rowe. Fourth, Cole Wilson. Fifth, Carlos Ortiz. Man, what a confusing turn of events. Cherry, a slow pit stop, will be out 7th. Matthew White trying to get that thing fueled up. Here he goes. He'll be able to roll off. Donahue, I don't know if he's going to take the wave around. Same thing with Bryce Benson. So I don't know what happened with Benson. Did he pit or not? I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Oh, yeah, he did come to pit road. With about 2 or 3 to go, he pitted right before the pit road closed. Well, that was a lot to work through. My goodness. We'll be coming to the choose this time by, I think. So inside goes Hunsicker, outside goes Payson Lindsay, inside, outside there. Not a ton of cars to actually make the choose here. There goes the 5. Lead of CJ Erdman rolling back down in the pits. The 84 there of Bryce Benson, the 82 of Aiden Donahue. And we're going to get ready for the restart here in Chicagoland. So, Clarino, by the way, is being scored 3 laps down. I don't know what happened to him. There he is in the pits right now in the 33. So, there goes Erdman in the 5. I think we're going to be good to not have to extend this yellow. All right. Well, we're going to restart here in the second stage on lap 55. That was certainly an interesting stage here in Chicagoland. It'll be now Braden Hunsicker up front with Pace and Lindsay. Wave around goes Donahue. Same thing with Benson, but they're on slightly older tires. Coming back to the green flag. Here we go on lap 55. The second half underway in Chicagoland. Shade is now kind of covering this racetrack. Hunsicker gets away nicely. Winner of this track, like I said earlier, back in season 3. As they go back into 1 and 2, there goes Sean Rowe on the inside of Pace and Lindsay for second. And these two have history, especially last night in the Grand National race at USA. 3 wide further back. Clarino, by the way, back on the track. Here goes Lindsay back to the outside, though, of Hunsicker for the race lead. We'll have a run coming down the front straightaway. Lindsay kind of uses that middle line. How about Cole Wilson and Cameron Chandler's car up to 3rd? And here goes Lindsay, who's inside, side by side for the lead down the back straightaway. Drives it deep into 3 and 4. And clears him for the lead. How about that for Pace and Lindsay? New leader in Chicagoland. In the wall goes Cole Wilson, now at 5. Look at Carlos Ortiz. Jumbled up. Do that strategy. Outside, or look at the 20 car of Sean Rowe ripping the boards. He will just clear that 8 car of Cole Wilson easily. Landed, by the way, what's our fuel window looking like? 44 laps to go.
1 second, let me get to this corner.
Somebody had a bad blink, but I believe that was
44 laps.
Oh, so they can't make it again. Ugh. Outside there, back into 1 and 2's that 5 of Ortiz. Look at him go around the outside of the 8 car of Cole Wilson as well for 4th. As a run on Sean Rowe. He's loose on the outside, door to door for 3rd. Look at Carlos Ortiz. What a run he's having so far tonight. And Pace and Lindsay, by the way, is pulling away for the lead. Also an absolute mess back here. There goes Bryce Benson looking outside on the 7 car, Matthew White. Got the 5 of Erdman there as well. Side by side down the back straightaway. Remember these two, of course, Bryce Benson just helped that 7 car Matthew White when he ran out of fuel coming to pit road. Now the door-to-door down the front straightaway. Battle for 6th. Cole Wilson, a NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Daytona 500 champion back in season 4, running there in 5th place. But he's got Matthew White looking to his inside, almost contact down the front straightaway. Here goes White in the 7. Benson going to follow in line with him. Hunsicker's about to be swallowed up in the lead. Pace and Lindsay is just driving away from everybody. Here comes Carlos Ortiz. How about him for 2nd? On the outside of on the outside of Braden Hunsicker. And he'll clear him easily. I do think there's probably going to be some saving still going on. See Clarino now 2 laps down back there. I don't think that 5 car Ortiz is really saving much though. He leads coming to 39 laps to go here in Chicagoland. Matthew White currently running in 6th. There's that 8 car of Cole Wilson in P5 right now. He's going to go to the outside. He'll have a run. What are we doing? Have a run coming down the back straightaway on Sean Rowe. Wilson now going to go to the outside for third. How about him coming on Braden Hunsaker? Grand National Series regular, filling in for Cameron Chandler. We know that A-car is very, very fast. Looking to get third from that 77 Hunsaker. So Landon, do you expect anyone to be able to save enough?
How many laps are they short? Probably 4 or 5 again?
Maybe, yeah, probably the same.
I mean, that'd be a stretch. I mean, when I put new tires on, I came out about a second before the leaders, and I put about 12 seconds on them. So I don't know. I mean, it might be kind of like the first half where you have some come out and some try to make it.
Really interesting battle here, side by side. Rowe just got split in the middle. He's going to go back to the inside 3 wide and again back into 3 and 4. Oh, there's contact. Up the racetrack goes that 29 of Cherry. Matthew White through the middle. There's that 20 of Sean Rowe. He is starting to slide on the bottom. We've had no cautions for cause so far in this race. Will that change? If that does actually change, I would expect everyone to come to pit road, and then we would be good on the fuel situation, and everyone would just be able to race for the win after that. Question is, will that actually happen? Our only yellow in this race so far has been the stage. Oh, Matthew White in the wall. That's a pretty decent shot down the front straightaway. Here goes Sherry now Doos inside. And he's going to drive it deep into the corner, almost contact. And here goes Sean Rowe, splits him outside 3 wide. Rowe is door-to-door sideways, trying to side draft that 7 car down the backstretch. Seeing really great battles all day long here at Chicagoland. Multiple lines have been used all the way up to the wall and to the bottom of the racetrack as well. Bryce Spencer, by the way, hit the wall pretty decently down the front straightaway.
Yeah, he's been struggling those old tires.
I mean, they're not that much older, only about, what, 2 or 3 laps. Obviously, it does have an effect. Here goes Sean Rowe looking to the outside of Hunsaker. He'll clear him. Sean Rowe up the 4th. Lindsay has a 1.5 second lead over Carlos Ortiz. You got Cole Wilson. What a top 3 right now, running in 3rd. Pace and Lindsay would absolutely love to be able to hold on for the win tonight. But fuel situation should make it interesting. Here goes Terry back to the outside in 3 and 4 yet again on Hunsaker. Oh, Hunsaker nearly got in the wall. Cherry's got a run coming down the front stretch. This race is kind of just flown by, we're only at 32 laps to go right now. It is shorter, of course, than usual. If this was a normal mile and a half race, we'd probably just be under the halfway break right now. Here he's going to have maybe another run coming down this front straightaway. He'll go outside. Maybe, no, can't get there. There he comes. Now he's going to get there. Oh, maybe not. He's going to make a crossover back to the inside of Hunsaker. Drives it really deep into the corner. Overdrives the corner almost, but clears that 77. Up to 5th. 30 laps to go in Chicagoland. What is that fuel situation going to look like? Should certainly be interesting. Payson Lindsay, I mean, he's got a 1.8 second gap now. He can kind of just really save at this point. Aiden Donahue, this has not been a good stage for him. Currently running back in 10th, 15 seconds off the lead. Of course, on those older tires, this has really not worked out in his favor. So unfortunate. Started on pole. Maybe one of the faster cars in the field today. Currently stuck in 10th on older tires. He needs to see a caution. Here's Benton running in 8th. These two, Benton and Donahue, were just battling for this stage win earlier in this, or not for the stage win, but for the lead earlier in this race. The gap now 2.2 seconds. Ortiz is actually kind of falling back to this group. Oh, we have maybe a spin. Oh, there was someone smoking. I think it's Torino. I don't know what he's doing down the front straightaway. He looks to have a handful. Your leader, Payson Lindsay, now stuck in traffic here with Jacob Clarino, currently 2 laps down. Here goes Sean Rowe looking to the inside of Cole Wilson. Side by side down the back straightaway. Wilson keeps it through the middle of the racetrack. Oh, Sean Rowe slides back up the racetrack yet again. Door to door. Almost contact down the front stretch. Where's Cherry gonna go? Rowe in the bottom of the racetrack will look like he's gonna clear Cole Wilson. Wilson now up the racetrack yet again, and he's gonna have a big blink. And Cherry goes to his inside and clears him for 4th place. Cherry now to the outside, almost on Rowe. Goes to the wall in the 3 and 4. Unsticker also coming with a run. Matthew White not too far back either. But again, how is this fuel situation going to play out? Oh, that's almost a slide job there. 77 Hunsicker passing Cole Wilson for 5th. Starting to hear some saving. The gap 2.4 seconds for the lead. Ortiz is actually pulled away as these guys have all been battling for a 3rd on back. I mean, would Payson have enough to be able to coast the finish here? Well, Payson did pit at the stage. He's not one of them that had to stay out. He already got his lap back on pure pace at the end of the stage there. 25 laps to go now in Chicagoland. It should be interesting. Here goes that 29. We got a car coming to pit road. That's Cole Wilson. But here goes Cherry, the 29 to the inside of the 20 of Rowe. Side by side. This is for 3rd. Down the front straightaway. Rowe gets a good run off the corner exit and re-clears that 29 of Cherry. And by the way, of course, like I said, Cole Wilson and Aiden Donahue also pitting in the 82 car. Wilson getting tires, so will Donahue. This is a little bit earlier, but of course Donahue, he's one that cannot save at all. Of course, did not pit under the stage brake, pitted about 10 or so laps before that. And that really has kind of just ruined his race. I think he is kind of wishing he ultimately saved enough fuel there and didn't have to pit at the stage. But of course, too late to change that now for Aiden Donahue. He will have to just settle what he gets tonight. He's going to roll off pit road in P11. Here goes Lindsay down the front straightaway. Clarino hasn't really gone away on his back bumper, but of course he's currently a lap car. As they go to lap that 82 of Donahue. All cars still running on the racetrack, coming to lap 80 this time by. Anyways, yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting. The gap, 2.7 seconds between Lindsay and Ortiz. Sean Rowe back there in 3rd, Cherry 4th, Hunsicker 5th. Highest running chase car right now, of course, is your leader, Payson Lindsay. Other than that is Sean Rowe in 3rd. You also got Hunsicker 5th, White 6th, Benton in 7th, and Donahue back P11. Payson Lindsay hasn't been the victory lane in the Cup Series since season number 3 in Daytona. That's his only ever Cup Series win, the Daytona regular season finale that year. Missed the playoffs entirely last season in the Cup Series. Now in the chase era, he just made them. He was below the cut line for a majority of the season due to some penalties. 20 laps to go, though. He leads as here comes Donahue on fresh tires around the outside of him. Donahue, as you can see. That's a very bad blink. Not really sure what just happened to him. There he's back. Side by side, here it goes. That 29 of Cherry. Ortiz just all of a sudden fell off the pace in that 5 car. Rowe just passed him a lap ago, and here comes Cherry on the bottom. And Hunsaker's there with them as well, and the wall goes Ortiz. Here goes Hunsaker out of the inside of Cherry. Takes advantage of that. Braden Hunsaker to the bottom of the racetrack, still looking for that first win of the season. Cherry nearly to the wall, there, door to door, down the back. I don't hear a lot of saving back here, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Still side by side. Hunsaker will be cleared by Cherry again. Back up to third is that 29 machine of Cherry. Braden's not giving up just yet with 17 to go. Starting to come towards the end of this one. Who's going to have enough fuel to make it? We'll have to see. It should be very interesting. Can Payson Lindsay hold on for a career win number 2 and his first win since season 3 is here. Hunsaker up the racetrack yet again, nearly to the quarter panel of Cherry. Almost got him loose. Ortiz back to 5th. Matthew White currently in 6th. I mean, Landon, is your fuel situation still looking kind of bad? 16 to go?
For me, I got 18 laps.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. Well, are you saving?
I mean, I'm just running at my normal pace, which
so you're not
definitely
coasting
slower.
at all? No coasting, right? Yeah, okay. All right, well, 15 to go now. This makes things interesting. The field situation tonight, especially for the stage, now for the races, has been so tight. And here comes Hunsaker, looking back inside on that 29 of Cherry. And he will clear him. This time he's got 3rd place away. Sean Rowe in 2nd, and Lindsay's got a 2.5 second lead over the 20 car. Funny how these things work out. Payson Lindsay and Sean Rowe right with each other. If they get to battling, I don't think either of them will cut each other any breaks.
Matthew White said he's saving.
All right, so I do want to listen to see if we have any coasting out of the 7. I don't think so.
That's the way he just put in chat.
He's definitely not coasting. Probably
He could also be throwing people off.
I don't know. Yeah, that's another possibility. There goes Cole Wilson on fresh tires to pass him. Get back on. There's the Erdman. There's Benton. He is also, I believe, he might be saving as well in 8th. Let's actually, let's not do that. Let's try to ride along with Bryce Benton if we can. He is definitely saving. Oh my, that is a huge save out of the 9, or the 8, 84. And then I'm going to get fair here to Cherry. No save at all. All right, 12 laps to go. Are they seeing something different? Hunsaker, let's listen with him. Again, no save whatsoever for 2nd. I believe probably the same with Sean Rowe. Braden is starting to come loose there. He is flying, and now he's on the wall, though, down the front straightaway. What could possibly play out in these last 11 laps in Chicagoland? Sean Rowe is beginning to run a little bit quicker than Payson Lindsay as these laps wind down. At the pace currently, I don't think it would be enough to catch him now. Goes one car. That's the 8 car of Cole Wilson, a lap down but on fresh tires, looking to the inside of Cherry, not for position. 10 laps to go, coming in 9 to go this time by. Lindsay's not saving at all, or at least coasting. There's other ways to save other than coasting your car around. He's running slower than Sean Rose. That could be a sign. I mean, if they're just running like this, I would assume they would know guys behind them like Bryce Benson are trying to save enough fuel. I guess Bryce, well, actually, yeah. Bryce, of course, stayed out, so he would not have enough fuel to make it. So he would have a couple of laps less. That's another situation because he didn't pit at the stage break. He pitted a couple of laps earlier than that. He just didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage. With there being no caution so far in the second half, that's kind of the situation we've got. 8 laps to go for Payson Lindsay. Does he have enough fuel to make it? Does he have enough car to hold on? Sean Rose closed the gap to about 1.8 seconds this time by. But still, he would need more than that. And again, passing them is, I should say, catching them is one thing. Passing the leader is another. Here's Bryce back there in. Oh, he's in the wall hard. That's not going to help. He is just trying to ride around at this point. Still trying to coast his way to the end on the older tires. Less fuel in his tank. Sean Rowe, the gap down to 1.6. But here goes Cole Wilson on fresh tires. Trying to mix it up with some of your leaders. The inside of Rowe coming to 7 laps remaining. And you're going to pull almost a little bit of a slide job there. Rowe going to come back to his bumper. These two, I don't think have history. I feel like not a lot of people don't have history with Cole Wilson. Especially Payson Lindsay. But Payson's coming to 5 laps to go this time by. It is starting to maybe feel real for the driver of the 99 car. Could this save his championship hopes? With Bryce Benton back there in 7th place, didn't really get any stage points after he had to come down pit road late in the stage, and Cameron Chandler not, of course, in the race. Could this be a championship season saving opportunity for Payson Lindsay if he wins this race? And obviously would be his first win in a long time. Hasn't won since 2024 in the NASCAR Cup, iRacing FedEx Cup Series. 4 laps to go in Chicagoland. Rowe is kind of just throwing everything he's got left at it. The gap is still about 1.6 seconds. Didn't help that he got passed by the lap down car on fresh tires, Cole Wilson. Further back, there is the 5 Ortiz. Matthew Way currently runs in 6th. Benton's still holding on to 7th, but just trying to save enough fuel to the end. Of course, these guys can all make it. But you would expect, unless something catastrophic happens. 3 to go in Chicagoland. Payson has just kind of been the back foot of Team Chevy Motor Club. They've had just an incredible season so far, but their other 2 full-time drivers, Cameron Chandler and Bryce Benton, both have mounted multiple wins. Daytona 500, a Coke 600 as well, nearly a Southern 500. We all know how that happened, how that went with Bryce Benton. Cherry, of course, he's won 3 races as well. Payson, the 4th driver, has kind of not been the victory lane just yet, but he's got 2 laps to go to be able to do it. Far. Payson hopes that doesn't change. Looks like everybody's trying to make it cleanly to the finish here. And off turn 4, the gap is 1.3 seconds, coming to 1 to go in Chicagoland. Final lap for Payson Lindsay. He's been close since his last win back in Daytona in Season 3. He was also close last night in the Grand National Series race at USA. Kind of a heartbreaker there. Was so quick, but this may be redemption. Final time down the back straightaway. Payson, his championship hopes were slim. Even this season, his chase hopes were slim at one point as well. But he's going to come off turn 4 for his first win since Season 3. Payson Lindsay wins and keeps his championship hopes alive in Chicagoland. First win of the year. Rowe comes home 2nd. Hunsicker is 3rd. 4th is going to be Ortiz. What a finish for him. And Cherry will come home in P5. White in 6th. And I think Bryce Benton runs out in the end. He'll finish in 7th. But Peyton Lindsay goes to victory lane for the first time since Season 3, the Daytona regular season finale. Breaks a very long winless streak. He is back into victory lane. Your winner in Chicagoland, his first ever non-superspeedway win in the Cup Series. His second career win overall. And this one has been a long time coming for the driver of the 99. Lindsay, your winner. He will burn it down. What a clean race as well. Only wreck that technically happens was 33 of Jacob Clarino spinning after the stage caution came out. But under green, there were no spins whatsoever, no yellows, only one caution. Well, no yellows for cause, I should say. Only one caution in the race, of course, was for the stage. And it results with Peyton Lindsay. What a win this was. I mean, he had such a great restart, took the lead, never looked back. Had enough fuel to make it. I mean, he was just on a great strategy there. And it worked out. Unbelievable stuff here in Chicagoland for Peyton Lindsay, your winner. This is definitely a great drive for the driver of the 99 car. He earned this one. Led easily the most laps there in the second half of the race and comes home with his second career victory, his first of the season. Winning Cup races are not easy, especially with this grid. Sean Rowe was coming there on the final few laps. Obviously, did not have enough time. Huntsicker, I mean, he's been so close lately. His winless streak will continue. He finishes third. But an even longer winless streak will be broken here with Peyton Lindsay. He actually is was the longest of the drivers running in this race, the longest Cup Series winless streak, because everybody else in the field has won at least Season 4 and up. Not anymore. He's your most recent winner in the Cup Series. I believe I gotta do the math real quick, but I believe he just broke a 52 or 51 race winless streak. Wow. Back to 2024 was his last Cup Series victory. And I think now we might be out of fuel. Does it for KB for Rowdy Kyle Busch. With that Kyle Busch sticker, of course, on his race car. I mean, what a beautiful race. Really was nice. And it ends up with this 99 car of Peyton Lindsay on a victory lane. Oh, I guess he's not out of fuel. Maybe now. I think he's probably just sputtering. I think that might be it now for Peyton. And yeah, there's the no post-race wrecks here, of course. I'm just going to have a nice post-race celebration. Lindsay victorious in Chicagoland. His second career NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series win. All right, anyways, post-race interviews coming up here from Chicagoland Speedway. I believe, actually, we would have had all cars finish, but I believe Clarino might have retired a little bit earlier. Yes, he did. So all cars but one finish in this race. Clarino finished 22 laps down in last place. But how about it? Peyton Lindsay is a two-time NASCAR Cup Series winner now. His first win since Season 3, breaks a 51 race winless streak. How about that? And post-race interviews will be coming up right away from the Chicagoland Speedway. With, of course, first of all, your winner, the driver of the 99, Peyton Lindsay. All right. Obviously, a shorter race than usual. Um, definitely, kind of was needed. No, sorry. Definitely was kind of needed for tonight. I really do think Kyle would have enjoyed that race. It was a great, hard day of racing all night long. And Pace and Lindsay goes to victory lane. So, fun day. Nice way to cap off a tough day. Anyways, post race interviews coming up. Payson Lindsay, you have done it. You break a 51 Cup Series race winless streak and go to victory lane with a dominant final half there in Chicagoland. Probably the best we've ever seen you do in a non-super speedway race. How about it? You are finally a NASCAR Cup Series winner yet again. How does it feel?
I mean, it feels amazing. I'd love to say that that last like 50 lap run was on talent, but we were just, I don't know. I was good on fuel since the moment the green flag dropped for that final stage, and we just drove it back on those 50 laps, and we just gapped them. I don't really know what was going on there, but I mean, nonetheless, I mean, we haven't won in this league in almost a year and a half, and now that basically puts us back in championship condition, I believe.
Yes, it does. We'll have to officially see how all the chase points look. We'll get that updated probably before the race of this broadcast is officially over. But man, what a day for you guys. Just incredible. I mean, how did you guys do it? Did you have any expectations there you were going to go to victory lane? I mean, Sean Rowe got the second. I thought he might run you down. He was starting to go quicker, but you hold on with a 1.4-second lead. How about that? So impressive.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that last run when I pulled away from like 3 seconds to start it, I was thinking, oh, I'm killing my right front, killing my right rear, whatever. These guys are gonna be up to me by, lap 75, and we keep clicking off laps. We're on lap 60, 65, 70, and it's still at like 3.5. So I mean, I don't really know what was going on with the other guys there, but we still had a really, really good race car. I mean, in practice, we were like 300ths off the fastest lap. In qualifying, we probably would have went top of the board, but I hit the wall off of four. So, I mean, it's not like we had a bad car or anything. I just didn't really expect it to come here of all places. I've never really been good at like worn out concrete, not concrete tracks, but worn out asphalt tracks like this. So, I mean, it's just really a shock for me.
I mean, yeah, what an impressive victory it was, though, for you guys. You led about 40 something laps in this race. Just dominant in the second half there, pulled away. But now for the championship hunt here. That's kind of the most important thing. 5 races to go after this. Your first win in over a year and a half. And you guys score the most points of any driver in this race. I can check real quick. I think you, by the way, let's see. Hunsicker scored the second most, but looking back on this is an important one. Bryce Benson, he scored 16 less than you guys, and we're gonna look at the chase standings entering the day. Yeah, so that's gonna help you really gain. And Cameron Chandler missing the race. Like, how big of a boost is this for the chase?
Yeah, I mean for sure. Like before today, I was thinking we were basically already out of it. I mean we're minus 41, even with Cameron not racing. We're still minus what like 25. So I was thinking, yeah, we're probably gonna get beat today. Bryce is gonna finish first or second. Sean Rowe's gonna finish up front, which he did. But I was thinking we were maybe gonna finish like fifth or sixth that race. But I don't I don't really know how our car was that good. I mean my tires weren't even that bad after burnouts. We were above 40% on all the right sides. So I mean, just unbelievable there that final run. I didn't really expect to have that kind of pace there.
All right. Well, anyways, well, we head to Talladega next week, of course, a super speedway. You guys obviously so good at those kind of racetracks. So is maybe doing the road in the cards for next week?
I think for sure. I mean, I think I wouldn't necessarily say it as an 100% guarantee. It's a super speedway, but I mean, we've proven in the past that we can run up front. I'm pretty sure the last 2 times we've gone to Daytona, or the last 3 times we've gone to Daytona in the regular season finale, our worst finish is fourth. So I mean, we've definitely got the talent side of super speedways figured out. We just got to figure out the luck side because we did not have that at Daytona when we went there in the regular season finale. I feel like everything that went wrong that could have went wrong did go wrong. So I mean, if we can just get a little bit of luck on our side next week Thursday, hopefully we can come home with a win.
Well, of course, one more question here. Obviously, we lost an absolute legend today of Kyle Busch in our sport. I mean, just such a tragic day. But you guys will go to Victory Lane. How special is it to just go to Victory Lane and do it for KB?
Yeah, I mean, it's really special, I mean, it's an awful day in the NASCAR communities today. I mean, and nobody was expecting it. He just came off a truck win there on Friday, so really, really heartbreaking, and it's really special to be the first guy or to be a guy to win since his passing. So I'd just like to say I'm feeling for all his family members right now, and yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, Payson, have fun celebrating this the best you can. Of course, remembering Kyle Busch on this very dark day, but we're happy you can go to Victory Lane for him, and we will see you next week in Talladega.
Yeah, thank you. Long live Kyle Busch.
Yep. Anyways, coming up next will be Braden Hunsaker. Braden Hunsaker, very solid day for you guys. You're going to score, I believe, the second most points of any driver, just behind Payson Lindsay with 34. So you nearly won the stage. Real quick, what happened there at the stage? Running out, it almost looked like side by side with Cherry.
Okay, so this is what happened. It's a little embarrassing, but I thought we were coming to the white flag, and my fuel was really, really close, if that was the case. So I thought we were coming to the white flag, but apparently we were already on the white flag. So I just gave it to Cheery, and I was really frustrated with myself. But still a P2, so that's pretty good.
But anyways, we go next week. Well, actually, I gotta and you finish you. I gotta ask you about the rest of the race here. You guys will finish in third. You were actually flying up until you got passed by, I believe, Sean Rowe, and you finished in the top three positions here. But again, you will extend your winless streak to what now? Like 24,
God
23
knows what
races.
it is.
I think it's like 22 or
I'm not
23
keeping
races.
track.
Well, I am. So, but anyways, ultimately, how do you feel about your finish, even though it isn't a victory?
Um, the car was really quick, and if you wanted the tire save, you'd have to give up a lot of track position. I figured that out in the first stage, dropped back to like 10th or 11th. But second stage, got the front row, which was pretty nice, and was able to keep in the top five and still save tire. But apparently, that wasn't the strategy that would win you the race, because Payson just full on sent it for 30 laps straight, and he got a big enough gap, and he won the race. So my strategy wasn't really gonna work, so that's unfortunate. Wish I could have won at my home race. Wish I could have won it for Kyle, but it's still a good result, and it's just really good points today.
All right. Well, anyways, nice job ultimately finishing in P3, second most points scored by any driver tonight, and we'll see you next week from Talladega.
Yeah, nice try, Fatty. And Cole J. Wilson, you're fat too.
Wow. Anyways, coming up next will be Carlos Ortiz. What a run for him. Man, Carlos Ortiz, what a great day for you guys. One of the better days you guys have had in your Cup Series career. You'll finish in a very impressive fourth while running in second for a good amount of this second half of the race. Where did the speed come from? How about that?
It's just motivation, you run a Kyle Busch paint scheme, and I was looking at photos of him when he signed my senior year flag for me, and I just felt motivated to go out there, give the best race I could, even if I was smacking the wall before getting loose. I just didn't want to give up the same way that he wouldn't. So I'm just happy to bring this car home. We have a nice finish. Even though we didn't lead a lap, this car being up front here, it means a lot, to me. And it is just there's no more other words to say except rest in peace to Kyle.
Yeah, well, of course, we're very happy that you're able to do that for one of the NASCAR's greatest drivers of all time. But we head to Talladega next week. So that's going to be an interesting one. What races do you think we're going to see you in?
I I'm not sure. I'm a busy fella. I've already graduated from college. Gonna see what I can do, but if we're gonna run again, I definitely want to run tributes for until FedEx is up this season. I think it's good to never forget a legend, and the drafting tracks, no matter what package, I think I can run up front. So if I position myself good, it would be nice to get my first FedEx official league win.
All right, Carlos, well, nice job here on a great result. P4, doing it for Kyle Busch here in Chicagoland, and hopefully we'll be able to see you at a track soon.
Yep, rowdy forever.
Coming up next will be Cheery. Rich Cheery, top 5 position here after your win last week in Iowa. So you won the stage there in a crazy finish with Braden Hunsicker. Barely won at the line on the final lap of the stage. A top 5 result, though, here at Chicagoland Speedway. You had good speed, got passed by a couple cars there late in the race, including Braden Hunsicker. You'll finish 5th. Ultimately, how do you feel about your day?
First of all, I would like just to wish every Kyle Busch fan and his family and there's your organization my thoughts and prayers. I mean, I'm sure y'all are. I mean, every one of us are shocked by the news. It's really unexpected, but yeah, thankful we get to do these things, race. We get mad at each other, get happy when some of either us or a friend of ours wins the race or runs well. So we're really, really lucky when it comes to that. So now let's talk about the race. I mean, it was crazy coming to the stage. I mean, everybody was slowing down, and I was coasting there. And when I saw Braden going really slow on the inside, I said, you know what, I'm gonna push it. Hell with it. I might as well just get the point. That probably cost me the race though, because I was crawling like Lincoln Park, the Lincoln Parks, and I was crawling coming into the pits, and yeah, I lost all the track position, and then just I don't know what happened there. The Payson just got way too much of an advantage, but just great way for him. Congratulations to him. I think it is his second win. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
All right. Well, congrats on that. Happy for him. Good win for TCMC as well. And yeah, it was just. I'm sure if Cowboys were to have watched this race somewhere up there, he would have been. It will depend on how I feel during that day.
All right, Cheery. Well, hopefully we're able to see you in Talladega next week, and nice job on the top 5 result.
All right, thank you.
Coming up, I think our final interview tonight can be Bryce Benton. Bryce Benton, definitely odd situation there. You guys had the least amount of fuel of everyone. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, did you guys stay out under the stage after pitting a couple laps before?
We did, but I came in literally like the lap before the stage because Summers and Pit Road didn't close. So
yeah, that is interesting. I think I heard a number like somebody was 7 or 8 laps to the good after pitting, so it's very interesting there. But anyways, you guys will come home in the 7th position here tonight. I mean, back-to-back races where I feel like you guys could have had better results. Just unfortunate luck, maybe some issues there at the end. Ultimately, how do you feel like your day went?
I mean, we had pace, but just fuel just screwed me up, and I don't know. I'm really confused on how people were that much to the good. I mean, I pit like literally the lap the stage ended. Or it was like the lap coming to the white of the stage. I mean, that shouldn't really have made me lose that much fuel. I don't know. It was just weird. I don't really know what happened. I don't know. It was just really odd. I was fuel saving that entire final stage to just try to make it on fuel, and I mean I did, but I was coasting across the line. I just have no clue how people were good on fuel. I mean I don't know. It was really confusing. Without the fuel, I think we definitely could have won tonight. It really sucks because I did want to at least have a chance to go for the win for Busch, but yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I don't know, just really odd situation. I don't know.
Well, we hit the Talladega Super Speedway obviously next week. So that should definitely be an interesting one at Talladega. So what are your expectations from that racetrack? God only knows what could happen there in the chase.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We just gotta make sure we can at least get a good finish out of that because I didn't gain as much points as I wanted to on camera tonight. I mean, 0 stage points and 7th is just not great. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to. I mean, for the rest of the chase, just get good finishes. But yeah, I don't know. Dega's gonna be interesting. We were good at Daytona. Both Daytona races. We'll see what we can do at Dega. I mean, we could have won there last year, but came up just short. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Can't really predict how Dega will go. So we're just gonna try to focus on just staying out of the chaos. Pretty much just execute just like we did for both Daytona races, and hopefully bring home a good result. So yeah.
All right, Bryce. Well, of course, great job ultimately on the 7th place finish. I know it was exactly what you guys wanted today, but we'll see you next week in Talladega.
Yep.
Well, and that will do it. Landon, I would say a very nice race and a very nice way to tribute our man Kyle Busch.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, still his whole family in our thoughts and prayers. What a tragic day. I'm still in disbelief. I really, truly am. I'm going to Pocono in a couple of weeks, so I was really looking forward to seeing Kyle Busch. I haven't seen him race in person since 2023. But unfortunately, yeah, that will not happen. And but he's looking over us now. He's in heaven. We know it. But that will do it tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Chicagoland Speedway. Congratulations to Payson Lindsay on the victory. His first win in over what, almost two seasons, I think. I guess. Yeah, very good for Payson. Short race tonight, but he goes to victory lane. We will see you next week in Talladega. Good night from Chicagoland Speedway.